What's going on? Last boxing video for tonight. At least that's what I anticipate. Salute to all the brothers and sisters out there as well. And it's Goodfella Sports TV. Your boy CJ Goodfella on the mic. And make sure you smash that subscribe button, hit the bell icon button. Check us out on all social media, Facebook and Twitter. Both links in the description. You can join our Facebook group family as well. But yeah, Keith Thurman continues to go on the offensive on, assassinating Terence Crawford's boxing character and assassinating his resume at 147 pounds. He keeps saying, who he fought. He ain't fought anybody like Amir Khan. He ain't a real welterweight. He really has no respect for Terence Crawford as a welterweight. He say, sometimes you hit a wall and you move up in weight, and more times than not, that wall, when you move up in weight, is usually welterweight division. And they kind of sized each other up All-Star Weekend in the NBA this past year, and I think people sleep on Terence Crawford's physicality, man. And one thing I noticed that Terence Crawford has a really strong base. I really put emphasis on that a little bit on the live stream today. Appreciate everybody that came on and supported our live stream. You can check it out. It's in the archives on the live stream we done today. And if you really look and know how strong an athlete is, a lot of times, with a really good, strong running back, you can tell by their legs. Barry Sanders had really, really big legs, thighs, calves. Warwick Dunn had big calves and legs. So does Saquon Barkley, the rookie sensation running back for the New York Giants. And Terence Crawford has a really, really strong base. And you look at Manny Pacquiao, he has some really, really big legs as well. Something like some Chun-Li Street Fighter legs. And Crawford has some really, really big calves and really, really big tree trunk type legs too for a 147 pounder. And I think Keith Thurman is underestimating Terence Crawford's physicality and strength as a fighter. And when they stood next to each other, it really wasn't no size different. They both was, look around the same size. Keith Thurman might have been a little bit heavier due to, him partying and chilling in Naples with his new wife. But he has no respect for Terence Crawford. None whatsoever. And at some point, Terence Crawford going to have to, clap back like he did with Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? He's going to have to clap back, man. You know what I'm saying? Or say something. Really call him out and tell Bob Bram that's the fight I want. You know what I'm saying? Because Keith Thurman just talks like he has no respect. He talks reckless about Terence Crawford. And he talked crap about Sean Porter and Errol Spence. He thought, I'm Swift, I'm the truth, I'm Showtime, I've been all of that. But when he talks to Terence Crawford, he just thinks of him as no threat. He thinks of him like a firefly or fighter. I'm not fighter, but them little lightning bugs, whatever you call them. He thinks about him as like a mosquito, like an irritating, pest or irritating gnat. You know what I'm saying? Like he has no respect for Terence Crawford, like none. Like he looks at Terence Crawford as somebody that's below him, not an equal, not a peer. And at the end of the day, he continued to run his mouth. Well, you need to go ahead and fight Terence Crawford. All right, that's the fight I want to see. I kind of would favor Keith Thurman if he get back to form, but Keith Thurman is not in a position to call shots in the welterweight division. His opinion matters just as much as Gervonta Tank's opinion when he goes around saying Wilder fights like a time girl and this guy, this guy, this guy that, and this guy this. Nobody take Gervonta Tank Davis' word serious because he ain't fought nobody. And nobody take Keith Thurman word because he ain't fought nobody in about 2 years. So everything you did at 147 before, okay, that's in the past. What have you done for me lately? You living off clout, and your clout wasn't that big. Your clout ain't like you ran through Morales Barrera, you ran through, Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya, Shane Mosley, Vernon Forrest, and you just did this incredible, you on this incredible tirade of beating all these great fighters. Nah, man. I mean, you ain't done nothing. Your best win is what? Danny Garcia, Sean Porter. Okay, great. But those are far from all-time great wins. Neither one of them dudes will ever be considered number one at welterweight. So you didn't beat Manny Pacquiao, you didn't beat Floyd Mayweather, you don't have that crossover appeal. You've been in some high level fights. You and Sean Porter did great numbers on CBS. You and Danny Garcia did great numbers. But guess what? You ain't no pay-per-view elite level guy. It ain't like you the star football player, that went to college and you a college star. Now you come back to high school to stun on all the high school kids. All right. No, you ain't that. If not, you're below everybody else on this totem pole. To be honest, what have you done for me lately? It's time for you to update your resume. What you did in the past is exactly that. It's the past. You still had a Super WBA belt because somebody been paying money to the WBA for you to keep that belt. Really, you should be stripped of everything, your boxing dignity, all your belts. You should have to start over from ground zero and work your way back inside the top 15 if everything was equal and boxing was all fair game. You wouldn't even be a top 15 fighter. You had to actually be ranked inside the top 15 and regain your glory, regain your status in the welterweight division. Nobody looks at Keith Thurman in actuality and says he's still the best welterweight. 9 times out of 10, most people drop him out his rankings, and everybody would drop him out his rankings if he no longer had that belt, and the WBA would do the right thing and strip him. All right? So he don't have no clout to pass judgment on Terence Crawford. In my opinion, Crawford's resume at 147 is better than what Keith Thurman has done, because Keith Thurman ain't fought in 2 years. Everything he done back then is in the past, all right? Danny Garcia already took a loss to Sean Porter, you know what I'm saying? And now Sean Porter about to fight you because we want to see him fight Errol Spence. So since Keith Thurman is trying to set the bar and trying to, give out assignments like he the teacher of the class, when really he ain't even the TA, all right? He ain't the TA. Keith Thurman is a student in the class with everybody else. All right? Everybody else is a cluster. Ain't nobody above the cluster. Everybody is in that one same cluster. Maybe tier 1 of the cluster, tier 2 of the cluster. Now it's time to do all that. Stop talking about who the truth, who Swift, who Showtime, and fight. And let's see who number 1. Let's see Keith Thurman try to extend that, the olive branch and try to see if they can make a Terence Crawford Keith Thurman fight, because he goes out his way and talks about Terence Crawford. Crawford's name wasn't even being mentioned during that press conference until Keith Thurman brought it up on the red carpet, if I'm not wrong, okay? If I'm not mistaken. So he's going out his way to talk about Terence Crawford, and I like that. If you're going out your way to talk about Terence Crawford, well, after this fight with Josito Lopez, I would like to see you and Crawford unified in. All right? Go ahead and see if Bob Arum trying to make that fight with Crawford and Keith Thurman. In the past, he ain't been willing to make that fight. In the past, he told Terence Crawford to shut up about Keith Thurman. He injured, and the only fight he wanted to make for Terence Crawford is Errol Spence. And in my opinion, Keith Thurman is a dangerous fight for anybody in the division if he's back to what he once was. But what if he's not? What if he struggles with Josito Lopez, injure himself again and out the loop? So at the end of the day, in my opinion, Terence Crawford got more clout than Keith Thurman in this division. His resume is updated. He may only have 2 fights in this division, but I'll take those 2 fights this year in the division before I take a guy who ain't fought in 2 years, all right? He trying to come off at Terence Crawford like he's soft or like he's sweet, all right? Crawford is strong, very good puncher, dynamic guy. He's only going to get physically stronger in the next year at the weight division. You might want to try to clip that bud off the tree right now before it blooms, okay? Before it blossoms. Because when he hit his stride of this weight class, it's going to be a problem. He's moved up right. He don't look too pudgy. He looks solid. He looks strong. He only going to get stronger, faster. And his nutrition is only going to build up them fast twitch muscles that much more. So Keith Thurman going around talking bud and clout chasing. I ain't going to say clout chasing. I really do believe that Keith Thurman think Bud Crawford is sweet, all right? I really believe that. I really think he thinks this man is sweet. And, I would like to see Bud Crawford and Keith Thurman make that fight happen. I would like to see Bud Crawford rebuttal, because he seemed to have a rebuttal for everybody else on Instagram and Twitter. He seemed to have a rebuttal for Danny Garcia when he fought Sean Porter. As soon as that fight was over with, he didn't say anything else about Danny Garcia. So, at the end of the day, I want to hear his rebuttal. I know he heard it. He heard everything else. He heard what Errol Spence said. So I want to see what he got to say about Keith Thurman, because that's a fight that he's openly spoke about in the past and wanted to fight Keith Thurman. He said Keith Thurman was the number 1 guy. Now things have changed, all right? Keith Thurman been stripped of a belt, but he still has a Super WBA belt. Bud Crawford was the Super WBA belt title holder at 140 pounds when he unified and became undisputed. So why not? Let's do it. Let's do it. Keith Thurman can't continue to, talk junk about Bud and say what Bud can do, what Bud should do. He ain't fought this type of guy. Look here, dude. You ain't fought nobody in 2 years. You fighting Josito Lopez. You know, ain't that calling the kettle black? Talking about who fought who and do. You trying to live off shit you did in the past, and you ain't do nothing that was that great. He acting like he got a great historical win at the welterweight division. You know what I'm saying? He had like he had 3 or 4 belts that he earned, that he truly earned. You know, 3 belts he earned. He was on the brink of becoming undisputed. Like, get out of here. As soon as shit heated up, as soon as Errol Spence got a belt, and as soon as Terence Crawford came on the scene, you showed moved the hell out the way. You know what I'm saying? You know, you showed went to go get married and did a lot of other things and took your mind off boxing real quick, fast, in a hurry. So at the end of the day, he can say everything he want to say. If he ain't talking about fighting Terence Crawford, stop talking about him then. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of these fighters talking about what they could and what this guy need to do. Who are you? You ain't his promoter. Either you going to show me what he can and what he can't do and what his limitations is. You going to show us and make your words factual and show us that he don't belong at welterweight. You know? Or you going to shut up and don't say his name. I'm tired of these boxers always talking about what this guy need to do or what he good at, what he ain't good at. Look here, man. Prove it to me in the ring. Prove it to me in the ring what he is and what he ain't good at. Prove it to me if he the truth and he ain't the truth. Prove it. I'm tired of hearing people's synopsis and hypothesis and they educated guesses and all that about what a fighter is and ain't good at. I'm tired of hearing about that. Show me. You know, like Rod Tidwell saying, Jerry Maguire, show me the money, man. Show me that Crawford sweet. Show me that Crawford don't belong to this weight class. Put the fucking 8-ounce gloves on. Strap up your rival gloves. And Terence Crawford, strap up your Everlast MX gloves. And let's see it, man. I'm tired of hearing about talks and hearing campfire stories and horror. Man, I'm tired. Just go ahead and strap and lace them up and let's get the fight popping, all right? Let's make boxing great again in 2019. Keith Thurman, Terence Crawford, summertime, Barclays Center. Let's make it happen. You know, Goodfellas Sports TV. I appreciate you guys coming on. 2 more videos. I'm going to do 9 boxing videos, man. Also, remember, you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Facebook group. Those are the first 3 links in the description. Also, want to make a donation to the channel. That link's in the description as well. Salute to everybody that helped the channel in this growth. And we also, you know, got an email. You can email me business inquiries or whatever. Or you got, you know, sponsorships, whatever you want. Also, the instrumental links in the description to the intro video. I definitely appreciate you guys. Mr. One Time for the one time. CJ Goodfella, Goodfellas Sports TV. Let me know what y'all think. Subscribe, hit the bell icon. We're missing